Hello everybody and welcome to the second round of the Roasted Record Sportscar Challenge here by Bitepoint Racing. It is Long Beach for round number 2 here this season. The streets of Long Beach coming off the back of a 1 week break, start to the season in Laguna Seca before the Rolex 24 in iRacing that was last week. A week off for that because at this point last week the race was only about 10 hours away or so. But this week we've got the start really of a long run of races that take us around North America, even into Mexico next week, and a 1.5 hour race the week after that at Road America before Indianapolis, and next week off in the middle of February. So good to have you along for the next few weeks here in the Roasted Record Sports Car Challenge by Bitepoint Racing. It's myself, Ian O'Leary, and Jim Cunningham with you tonight for this 50-minute race, including LMP2s and GT3s after the opening round of the season just 1 week ago. A couple of safety cars in that race, by the way, that we should just give you a bit of an update on because of the changes that have been made since that race. Now we've got a maximum of 1 safety car per race, and that is triggered by a certain number of incident points within a 5-second window. If it is going to be a full course yellow, a safety car, then it should be easy for us to spot. I think that bar for a safety car coming out has A, been raised a little bit higher, and B, as I say, there is only 1 of them now because we were shortchanged a little bit on racing at Laguna Seca. Good to see, though, for the remainder of this season, it is going to be a little bit on the nicer side. Long Beach, though, could be another one of those races where a safety car could be included because it is such a difficult racetrack here at Long Beach. 11 turns, but all of them very, very tight with the walls right up next to you over the course of only 2 miles. The current pole time is in the low 1 minute 15s with Aaron Aguilar currently Aguilar in the pole position at the moment. Aguilar was in the top 3 at the end of last week's race in the point standings. Let's just show you a little bit around of Long Beach, though. An unusually overcast day here today in the high 60s Fahrenheit as far as temperature is concerned, and not long added into the iRacing fold. You can see the buildings around here. It's a very built up area of course, and it was providing the challenge for us here tonight. Let's have a look at the championship points heading into this round of the championship, and effectively these are just a reminder of how we finished at Laguna Seca. Mauro Santamaria winning the race in front of Scott Murray and Alan Aguilar, who's on the podium, as I just mentioned. Adrian Puebla and Edwin Hendricks round out the top 5. You can see the rest of them there on your screen, all the way down to Jacob Sheridan in the top 10. Zach Houston won the race in GT3 Pro in front of Francis Crosby and Austin Schildhauer. Matthew Miles, Michael Anderson rounding out the top 5. Tyler Crowe, Jordan Butler and Sebastian Trulio rounding out the 8 drivers who scored points from the opening round of the GT3 Pro Championship. And in Pro-Am, it was John Postwick who took a surprise victory, I think by all accounts. Jason Holland and Jordan Cox were the ones on the podium, joining him with Jed Cotterman and Jeremiah Cohn rounding out the top 5. David Volper, John Pittenpole, Zach Shepard, Anthony Wells and Timothy Shaper round out the top 10 from Pro-Am here ahead of this round of the championship. Well, as I mentioned, it's myself, Ian O'Leary, and Jim Cunningham with you tonight here in this championship. Good to be alongside you, Jim, for the very tight streets of Long Beach here in Los Angeles, California. An unusually overcast day. It's going to be a big challenge, though, these 50 minutes for multi-class racing at Long Beach. It is done fairly often, multi-class racing around here, unusually, but it doesn't make it any less of a challenge. Yeah, actually, good to be here with you, by the way. And just for the record, this is my 3rd Long Beach race in 3 days.
It's the same.
Yeah, so I've covered Long Beach. I'm well aware that we're probably going to burn our safety car on lap 1 coming out of the hairpin before we. They seem to stack up there, right there, and that the image that's on the screen now. That seems to be where it happens at. But no, it's good to be here, man. And I love Long Beach. Growing up as an American. Indy cars have been racing here for, 30, 40 years. I don't even know, man, all the way back to the Mario Andretti days, This has been an iconic circuit in American IndyCar racing. IMSA has raced here for a long time,
So like you said, multi-class racing, not uncommon here at all. It's extremely tight, though, and this place is not forgiving. And one of the things that you don't think about, this is a great angle right here, you can't see around these corners. These walls are just high enough for these low race cars that you can't see. So as you come around these corners, if there's an incident, you just plow into it. There's no warning whatsoever. Going to be a very tough circuit, and we did see a little bit of chaos at Laguna Seca, and that's a place with runoff areas. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. People are definitely going to have to, use some patience and just be cool. I'll say this: if you get around here without a major incident tonight, you're going to have a really high quality finish for sure.
Yeah, I think that is very much the case. Not sure what it is about iRacing at the moment. That's visiting here quite often, but it is in this week, so that's a bit odd. Worth saying as well, actually, that easy to forget, Formula One went round here.
Yes.
Back in the day, long time ago. Even in the last edition of that, though, there were 8 years in a row where F1 was held here. 1983 being the last of them, and I can tell you the circuit looked nothing like what it does now. That shows you how long ago it was. 43 years ago, the most recent Long Beach Grand Prix. Although that's not what it was called, obviously.
Like I would challenge people to guess the winner's name of that race. Do you know who it is? I'm sure you're probably obviously looking at
I've got it up in front of me, so I am cheating.
Yes, but tell everybody who the winner was.
John Watson.
Exactly.
1983.
I have no idea who John Watson was, and I was
What?
No, I don't.
Oh my goodness. John Watson now commentated, well, maybe this wasn't in America, but commentated on F1 for a very long time in the 2000s after he retired in the 90s. And more recently, has commentated on GT3 racing in the World Challenge and so on.
Well,
so you may have heard him.
Well, I probably have heard him, but I don't. I don't remember him as a Formula One driver, and that was back in my heyday of watching racing in Formula One. That was in my late, my teenage years, and and I loved Formula One back in the Nigel Mansell and Alain Prost days, and that was during that time, and I don't remember him because when I heard the name, Tom Carnes, who is a friend of ours that we work with, and he also is a commentator for, he works, not a commentator, but he works for Formula One as like basically a researcher, like a historical researcher and stuff. And so he threw that name out there, and I was like, I have no idea. I don't recall that at all. But it looks like we're wrapping up qualifying here. So I think we're going to have us a little short warm-up session. I tell you what, we're going to do something a little different tonight. We normally have our track map, but Tristan, who is not here with us, is normally our track map guy. I don't know how well you know this circuit to cover the track map, but we'll put it up there, and we can just talk about it a little bit. We're going to run it through kind of quick, and then we'll get back. So let's take a look at that real quick.
Yeah, let's have a look. I know a little bit about this circuit. I'd say we've seen quite a lot of it in recent weeks, but there it is in Los Angeles, California, sort of towards south, right on the coast, as the name Long Beach would perhaps suggest. But easy to forget. Well, not easy to forget, but this is absolutely built up around the streets that obviously exist 365 days a year, and some of those days a year we have a racetrack instead down here on the coast. And you can see Sector 1 highlighted. Big run down in towards Turn 1, which is sort of key, really, as far as the sector is concerned. You've got to get single-filed out, though, in time for the fountain, which is that, well, I bet you can guess where it is. That circular turn there, you can see. Then in towards the middle sector, very short, but just sort of standard going around blocks, really, 90-degree turns that you've got to make sure you get right, of course, because, as I mentioned, the walls are here to collect you at any moment. And then you get into the sort of car park area of the circuit. Not necessarily going around buildings, around blocks, but instead making twists and turns through a car park instead, into what creates this very, very tight hairpin as they rejoin the highway on one end and turn around to join it on the other. As I mentioned, the streets are used for normal life, other than when the circuit is around, and the front straight is effectively a highway that runs just along the coast there and provides the best overtaking chance on the way down in towards turn number 1. Street circuits always fascinate me, and this one is one of the fascinating ones as well. Glad to see as well, it's not completely bereft of overtaking chances. There is a big one down in towards turn 1. We'll see how readily that one is used tonight.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people view the hairpin as a passing opportunity, where I would argue that that's very tough to do, especially in these LMP cars. They do not have the tightest turning radius. These prototypes do not really have a super tight turning radius. The GT3 cars actually will get around that corner faster than the prototypes will. But I would argue that, probably best to not try to pass in the hairpin. It usually ends up with a spin. And like I said, it really bottlenecks there. Turn 1 is a great opportunity to pass, but you've got to be careful there. You're carrying a lot of speed in there, and that curbing there will really upset especially the prototype cars. The GT3s can handle a little curbing a little bit more than the prototypes, as we see a Porsche going around there and during warm-up. No time to tear the car up now.
No, and of course the first time they've since qualifying, which was half an hour in length, don't forget, as the two groups go out separately, the GT3s and then the LMP2s. First time in over half an hour they've been in traffic, so good chance to get back up to speed with it again. One thing we've failed to mention so far as well is that the sprint rounds are now 1 hour races as opposed to just the 50 minutes, so
That's right.
a little bit longer, but it's not going to make too much of a difference,
Well,
I don't think.
I'm glad to see they made the rule change regarding the safety cars, and obviously we were kind of impactful in that. We were, we bit critical, of how much time we lost, and then after the fact, we gave our opinion as fans and as commentators, what it did to the racing, and I think that they realized that, given the size of these fields and everything, that that it was probably best to trim that back a little bit. There are times that I do feel like you need a safety car, because see, there's a prime example right there coming out of that hairpin. It is so easy to spin there. But no, I think that they made a great decision. They made an on-the-fly decision, which I think is wonderful. They didn't just like, oh, well, that's the way we're going to do it. We're just going to stick with it all season. They they went out there and saw a problem and changed it, and I like that. So.
Yeah, I do feel slightly. I don't feel good about the responsibility of that personally. The personal responsibility of that, I must say.
That doesn't
anyway.
surprise me, knowing you. It doesn't. I mean, you just that's not really in your personality. Whereas me, on the other hand, I would be patting myself on the back for.
I don't want to be bullying people around, but there we go. Sometimes I get a bit cranky, late at night watching these. But anyway,
no, I mean, we did. We lost. I mean, we lost like 15, almost 20 minutes of racing there. I mean, it was not a good situation. And
personally, I didn't find the massive problem with the fact there was two safety cars. I think the bar for the safety car being called was maybe a little bit on the low side.
Yes.
And I think that has been raised slightly. I'm fine with, if it's a really chaotic race, I'm fine with however many safety cars there needs to be. It's up to the drivers how clean the race is. But you don't want it to be too soft, as it were, to actually allow a safety car to come out. So now I think the bar is quite high. I think, to be honest, if I were to make a prediction for the season, if we're not going to see one here, we might not for the rest of the season. I mean, weird things happen, obviously, especially on race starts. But this venue might not be the best place to judge those new rules in terms of how easy it is for one to come out, and indeed how many there might be, because this is always going to be.
This is actually the exception. This is arguably one of the worst tracks in iRacing when it comes to potential for mass chaos. I mean, this is a tough racetrack. I mean, it really is. So, let's see.
Good luck.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I've got control of the grid for you tonight too. So there's that. So
that is helpful.
Yes, you'll be happy to know that. So let's get that going since there's a bunch of cars here.
Yep, not going to run away with me. So let's have a look at the starting grid then, with last week's winner, Mauro Santamaria, on the pole once again in front of Alan Aguilar, who is just up alongside on row number 1. Row 2 is made up of David Turnbull and Edwin Hendricks. And Hendricks and Turnbull were 5th and 6th in last week's race. Nicholas Seacrest is in 5th ahead of Justin Negret. They make up row 3, the first All-American row, indeed, of the field. Justin Bock and Scott Mowry are on the next row. Mowry finished 2nd last week, so might be a bit disappointed with 8th place off the start. Rounding off the top 10, it's Dax Brown and Jacob Sheridan. As a number of drivers actually don't look like they've actually gotten onto the grid here and might have to start from the pit lane. We'll wait and see.
That may not be the worst thing in Long Beach.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I'm looking at a delayed screen. I think it might be. Adrian Puebla and Harrison Holiday then next. I'm going to try and rattle through these quite quickly towards the end because the race start is fast approaching. Roderick Mendoza is in front of Gregory Lawrence then on row 7, and row 8 is Brandon Herzing and Tyler Baxter. 17th for Blake Ward and Brian Scott then, who make up row 9, and rounding out the top 20 it's the first of the GT3s, Michael Anderson in front of John Voigt, rounding out the top 20. Then it's Zach Shepard and Paul Basson on row 11, about the same number of GT3s as there are LMP2s, by the way. David Volpe and Austin Schurhauer are next. Then it's Francis Crosby and Sebastian Trulio, who are on row 13 overall. Brian Lavarissa and Anthony Wells on row 14. For rounding out the top 30 is Lorenzo Arroyo and James Langvin. Blake Pittenpole and Charlie Crow round up next as the drivers come through the final corner. Let the rest scroll through on the bottom of your screen as we get ready for the Roasted Record Sports Car Challenge on the streets of Long Beach. Here we go for round number 2 this season, and we are underway. Green flag waves and Santamaria again gets a big jump over the field, in complete control of the field on the run up towards the line, and uses that to take advantage down in towards turn number 1. Aguilar in 2nd position, and then Turnbull, who's trying to fight off the rest, in 3rd, and does so successfully. Do they all get through cleanly for the first time as the GT3s come through the final corner now themselves as well? I think it's been a good start overall in the LMP2s, and let's hope for the same in GT3.
Yeah, I see a lot of action on my timing screen, but that is because they probably bottlenecked at the hairpin a little bit. So looks to be pretty good so far.
Yep, it looks like we've gotten away with it through the hairpin, and indeed through turn 1 as well. Everybody through cleanly. But look at Santamaria, more than 3/4 of a second in front of Aguilar and trying to get away from the rest of the field. You get the feeling this race is going to be won and lost in traffic a little bit later on, but if he can have a bit of a head start, Santamaria, into the traffic, then that's no bad thing for him.
No, this place is definitely the LMP2 cars are definitely going to catch the slower GT cars pretty quickly.
Oh no! Contact. Justin Bock hit there as they were coming through the hairpin. That was and there's almost a stack up there as the guys coming to a stop. I think it was Dax Brown, was it, trying to get past Adrian Puebla, and he broke too late, got into Justin Bock in the final turn. Yeah. You've always got to worry about that, and these are side by side. Maybe it wasn't them actually, but not entirely sure. You've always got to worry about when you're side by side looking to make a move into the hairpin, not just the driver you're trying to overtake you've got to worry about, but the one in front of them, that you don't go into the back of them just like that.
Well, I tell you, Justin Bach and I have a long... Oh, there's another car around there. Who's that?
It's Puebla.
It was Puebla. Wow, okay.
And he's got
He's tore it up, yep. All right, well... Yeah, that didn't. He's had a bad. He probably got some damage on that initial contact with Bach. I want to go back and take a look at that real quick. Like I said, I've got a long history with Justin Bach, and unfortunately, I like him a lot. But apparently, I commentator curse him just about every race, and I sure got him right there.
Yeah, it was Puebla as well. On Bock, who was actually spun round in a position actually where he only lost 3 places. So that could have been a lot worse, but there might be resuspension damage on that car, in which case it's a bit more trouble for him. But unfortunately, only a couple of corners later, Puebla was off the road and indeed has a meatball flag and had to tow back to pit lane. Meantime, Santamaria in traffic as one of the GT3s gets caught off the back. This is Lorenzo Araujo, who started from the pit lane here, and he's getting past here early on by Santa Maria, and Aguilar follows. We're nose to tail for the lead inside 3 minutes.
Yeah, actually, Aguilar caught up quite a bit there because Santa Maria kind of ran away with that start a little bit, but just even that one GT car, struggling a little bit there, has brought him right back together. Let's I'm going to jump back here real quick and take a look at some of this GT3 action here with this is Crosby and I believe it's Rich.
Oh, yeah, that Patrick Rich, who was trying to get himself down the inside there, coming into the fountain, and that was too tight of a squeeze, really. Very nearly got himself into contact with Crosby, but got away with it in the end, and they can continue on. By the way, the odds have flipped round, because actually Voigt set the fastest GT3 lap of anybody last time round with a 1:20.222 as opposed to a 2:55 from
sure
Michael
did.
Anderson, who leads this race at the moment by a fairly comfortable margin, but not to confuse you, that's why the orders have flipped. It's not because Voigt is actually the overall GT3 leader, although he's definitely challenging. Those are the two leaders in the classes.
Yes.
Anderson in first and then Voigt in second. They're both leading their respective classes.
Well, the reason I clicked on Voigt, one of the main reasons is because we have been trying to get his camera to show up on screen now for the better part of a half a season or more going into last season. So he finally got it sorted out, so I wanted to give him some airtime there, and he looks like the big giant fly there with his VR Pimax VR headset on there. But I just wanted to give him a little airtime since he's been struggling to get. Oh no!
Oh no! Contact, Patrick Rich in contact there with Francis Crosby. We know the two had been fighting. We were watching it a lap ago, but unfortunately it was contact this time. One of them I think it was Crosby, actually, he broke too late for turn one, ended up in the wall. And as he bounced off the wall, he came back off it into Patrick Rich, who spins around with him in the fence, and now they've both got damage. There's also a spin there just up in front for one of the other pros. We'll see that again in a moment, but yeah, I think it was Crosby coming off the barriers into Patrick Rich there.
Yeah, indeed it was. That's that's Long Beach, man. I mean, there's just no room for error at all. I wonder how much damage his car's got from that. 2 hits, a big hit into the wall and then a hit into a competitor there. So
Trujillo was the one who spun round, by the way. It wasn't anything particularly groundbreaking. I think it was just a spin coming out of turn 5 onto West Shoreline Drive, which is very, very easy to do on those curbs. Even in a GT3, you've got to be careful getting on the power. The one advantage of the sort of chaotic start we're seeing in GT3 is that the field might be a bit more spread apart by the time these guys get there. At least it's an advantage for these two. And Santa Maria, who will be feeling the pressure at the moment, and that pressure will only increase once they catch traffic on this next lap.
I got a question for you here regarding, I'm just going to ask you right here live on the broadcast. So I've got our tower set up by categories, and the reason I did that is because if I show overall, there's so many LMP cars that we would barely see any of the GT cars on there. Or would you rather it like this?
I think I prefer classes, to be honest,
okay.
but it is a good point, because often the people not in the same class do fight with one another. I don't think it's possible to put the GT3 classes together, is it? But not the LMP2 class.
No.
So that does limit us a little bit. But
up to you. However you want it. I'll we can flip back and forth a little bit during the race. It would go either way there. Just and I can also change the position. You see how it shows whoever's number 1 in class? I could change that to their overall running position if that would make it easier for you.
It might. Who's that without a rear wing, by the way? I'm being distracted by what's on the screen.
Squirrel.
But somebody's running around in a Ferrari without a rear wing there in GT3. They don't seem to be too bothered by it, but it's not Crosby. It might be Trujillo.
It is Trujillo, I think.
It has to be, I suppose, if it's not Crosby. There's only 2 Ferraris in the field. And
look at that. We figured that out all on our own, didn't we? Look. There he is.
I know, yeah. turn 5 spinner earlier on was Trudeau, I think. So maybe that's where he lost his rear wing. It's a bizarre sight. Let's see how he goes into turn 1.
Yeah,
this is actually affecting him. He's going to get dived by an LMP2, so he'll be okay through there anyway. Luckily, this is a circuit where you almost require absolutely no aerodynamic downforce at all, because you're going so slowly by the time you get to the turns. But you do still need a rear wing, although it doesn't seem to be holding him back at the moment.
It really doesn't, does it? I mean, I'm sure that LMP car that's right behind him would argue differently, as he finally got by him there. But, yeah, I have to say he's going pretty good, considering he has no wing. I don't think I'd be going that good, so there's that.
Nope.
All right, let's see here real quick. So yeah, there we go. We'll leave it like that for a minute and see how that goes. That'll kind of give people an idea what's happening.
Yeah, try and figure out some of these inter-class battles, which will be
again, I think it's fun to see the other way too, because I think it's great to see the overall battles like this too, knowing that that you've got just because one's a pro-am and one's a pro doesn't mean it's still not a great battle, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so maybe we should flip-flop between the overall and the classes a little bit, but anyway, this meantime is that overall battle for the GT3 lead, and you see how far they are ahead of some of the other GT3s in the class already, even after only 10 minutes here. It's pretty remarkable the gap that they've already got, but this is Long Beach, and it's
any calmer.
Catch out the slower drivers.
You think you could be any calmer than Michael Anderson is right there? He just looks like laid back, like he's not. There's no stress on his face there. He's just he's kicking it. He's obviously league owner or one of the main guys here in the league. But you'd never know it to look at him. He's out there flying in first place in his division around this racetrack, would you?
Absolutely. Clearly not the person I went to school with, as I mentioned 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no. There's only one John Voight in the whole world.
Yeah, well, that is quite an unusual name, isn't it? I
guess it is.
So might be a bit of family history there, but anyway.
That's right. It was Michael Anderson. Never mind. Yeah, there's only one Michael Anderson.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Everybody seems to know one, and a different one.
Right, exactly. Well. Yeah, none of them are the same.
So there we go. Anyway, John's very much tethered to the seat at the moment. You can see the amount of wire. I'm not sure what the one coming out the front is supposed to be doing there. Obviously,
that's his. That's the
VR.
back of his wheelbase that we're looking at there.
Yeah, it's a strange angle to look at a wheel at, isn't it? But
it is. Yeah, but I mean, if you don't have a monitor there, it's fine.
No, that's true. Yeah, it always makes me laugh seeing those VR setups when somebody's not sat in the rig, doing the driving, because it just looks like they're just sort of turning a wheel without any.
He does have a wire coming out the front of his face mask, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't know what that wire's for. I can see the one out the side, but I don't know what that's for. But anyway.
I don't know. Yeah, interesting. I was going to see if I could make him appear larger somewhere else on the screen, but apparently I cannot.
Well, also
we'll put him back. Anyway.
Also funny that he called it a face mask, like he plays American football or something.
No. Did I say a face mask?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I did play American football, so I guess there's that. It's probably ingrained in my brain somewhere. I don't even recall saying that. I don't even remember saying it.
Yeah, I quite like it as a term, actually. Mid-time. This is in the midfield for the LMP2s. Oh dear, somebody drops down the field there very abruptly. That's Tyler Baxter, who was already having trouble in LMP2, I think, but has got a meatball flag now. And so even more trouble. Yeah. Completely
it's
alone.
Be a solo too, yeah. Oh, I've done that. I hate to admit it, but I have. This place is tough, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love driving here, but this place is tough. It is brutal, man. It's slick because it's a street. I mean, a true street circuit. Like you said, these streets are used every day for road cars when they're dripping all their grime and engine gunk all over the road, and that stuff as the road heats up, it seeps up and seeps out, you know, and this place is tough. Let's take a look at what our track temperature is here today. If I hadn't have hidden my weather button from myself, I would be able to do that.
It might be because we're still in replay at the moment.
Oh, it probably is. Well, it probably does have something to do with it, but it doesn't change the fact that I hid my button today. I rearranged all my buttons because we got all the new things. And by the way, let's take a look at the biggest movers. This will be the first time you've seen the new biggest movers.
Okay, yeah. And, oh, goodness me, Jordan Cox up 12 places so far. This is in the overall, of course.
Yes.
And up to and indeed up another one there. Actually just got past Jamai Cohn, who drops a couple of places. And indeed places in those standings as well of biggest moving forward. But notice how they're in the GT3 category where they're moving more than in the LMP2s. That's a little bit because the GT3s sweep up positions from everybody
right.
when people retire, and the LMP2s don't quite with the same frequency. But nevertheless, Jordan Cox has gained a lot of position from where he started. Started, by the way, in dead last, and he's already up into 23rd overall. That is 10th overall in the GT3 category as a pro and prime combined.
This is Tyler Crow here, and he's up 10 spots overall. Also, obviously, GT3 class. That's a very bright livery on that car. I kind of like it, though.
It's a bit unusual, isn't it?
It is a bit unusual, but it's striking. It stands out, which is kind of the whole point of liveries, I would say, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I used to drive it just on the standing out thing. I used to just paint my entire car pink to stand out in the field. There you go. It didn't look good.
It didn't look good. Well,
it didn't have anything else on
Jordan
it.
Cox there, that we just talked about, you know, he's kind of got that white fading into pink kind of livery there with the cherry blossom flowers on the side of it. I rather like that one as well.
Yeah, it's quite an understated livery, actually.
It is. It's actually understated.
Nice. Yeah.
Right,
oh dear, LMP2 a little bit undecided. We passed there, car 30, which is Jacob Sheridan.
Yeah. He's running that, what's the name of that Dragon?
Dragon Split track.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if they've got the Dragon has a name. I can't remember it, though. I was just watching today, literally, I was watching the qualifying from the 24 Hours of Daytona that ran. The qualifying was yesterday. And I was watching it today, and they were talking about that car, that livery.
I haven't seen very much of it, to be honest with you. I'll try and catch the start tomorrow.
Yeah, it
nice
should be.
Watch for us.
Now you want to talk about a plain livery?
Yes.
It's almost like it's not reset. What is that?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. You always wonder whether those are actually reloaded, but yeah, that's. Very plain indeed. Santa Maria are under a lot of pressure here, by the way, for the race lead.
And we got
Aguilar has caught
up
through traffic. Corvette gets out the way. They're not done yet with the lap traffic for the first time round, although they get through here on Anthony Wells, and they've got 10 seconds in front of them. And Santa Maria will be pleased about that because the traffic previously has given him a lot of grief here with Aguilar catching. And this is a proper battle for the race lead now.
Very much so, yes. They've really been kind of glued to each other after that first lap or so. You know, they've been running together here. I love this. I think this is Shoreline Drive, isn't it? Is this Shoreline here?
The front straight is West Shoreline Drive. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I've got a lot of memories here as a kid. You know, watching the likes of AJ Foyt and Mario Andretti race around this place, and it always seemed, as a kid, it always seemed so exotic. You got the yachts right off the right on the other side of the track there in the water area, and it was kind of like, I guess, the American Monaco, so to speak. Yeah.
I don't think that's an unreasonable comparison.
I would say now that more Miami would be that. Would be more so that now, because South Beach and Miami, is, I would say, a little more exotic than this area here is now. But But the fake water at Miami kills me. I have to admit, it does. I don't get it, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I get it from a helicopter shot. It looks great, but still.
Up close, yeah, it doesn't look quite as good up close, I must say. I don't know. I know which one looks better, to be honest. I think the elevation change of Monaco is perhaps gives it a lot of something that people don't quite
Monaco,
sometimes.
man. I mean, it's Monaco. You know, I mean,
yeah.
Monaco is in my mind still, you know, I don't know, the most exotic race. Like even to this day, knowing that the racing is horrible there, you know, pretty much it's you watch qualifying and that's going to tell you who wins a race, you know. But it's still just has that mystique about it that you know, as we see Justin Bach getting through there, he has dropped all the way back to the back of the main LMP field, you know. So I guess he probably did suffer some damage in that incident. Let's take a look at his cockpit cam, see if his steer wheel's jacked. But more than likely, his damage came to the rear the way he was hit.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's counter steering at all.
No, but he was, you know, he's way faster than running at the back of this field. So my guess is that, you know, he probably suffered some damage. He's probably going to maybe get it, you know, fixed when he has to pit, but it's drivable enough to stay out there. But I'm telling you, I really do have a thing with cursing this guy. I mean, this has gone on for multiple seasons now in this league and the sister league to this one. Let's see here. We got Greg Lawrence just had an incident. Let's see what happened here. Is he going to do it? Is this going to be a 2-for-1 or? No, he just see that right there. That's a prime example of these LMP2 cars do not turn. Wow, he jumped to the pits on that though. That didn't seem like a hard enough hit to jump to the pits on, did it?
No, not really. Something weird was going on there because it looked like he just couldn't really slow down into the hairpin hit.
No, he way oversteered there, and I mean, you see how he cranked his wheel around? Unless that was maybe he had a wheel issue, because that wheel went all the way. Look at that. Watch it again. I mean, it literally did.
Whether he's got a stuck throttle or something, because he just.
If you watch it, the wheel goes as far. Look, all the way around. I know he turned it back, so he was fighting it. I don't know. That's interesting. I'm not sure what happened there. Definitely something a little strange there, and unfortunate for sure.
Unusual again. But there you go. Speaking of unusual, that's counting. Meantime, Santa Maria continues to lead, and in the absence of traffic, he seemed to put a few attempts into Alan Aguilar. David Turnbull, meantime, is just
creeping up,
encroaching on this battle.
Yeah,
he's just getting a little bit closer again. But the real problem tonight is going to be making the overtakes, and Aguilar has shown that it's going to be very difficult to get past Santa Maria at any stage tonight.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is a get the biggest movers off the screen. This is we're gonna get my words. I need words. Just use the words. You learned them. The pit stop's going to be crucial here. If you can jump somebody on pit road, get in and out off pit road faster, because this is a long, brutal pit road too. This is a long, slow pit road. It's one of the worst in all of racing. It's really long and super slow. Like I think it's like 37 kph or something. It's it's really slow. As we see, this is Negrete and I thought that GT just went a little wide there to stay out of the way. This is a nice little battle right here as well with Moro and Maury. Maui.
Mauri.
I'm struggling with that. I'm struggling with words tonight. I don't even know what happened. I probably shouldn't have drank that entire fifth of vodka earlier.
Yeah, very good. Yes, it's fifth place at the moment for Murray, but I mean, oh dear, hello, tight through
Yeah,
turn 8 there.
Good driving, though.
Between the two. But look at the pressure he's under now, Negrete. Here comes Nicholas Sickrest on the way towards turn 9. He's going to be forced to the outside, but this is one of your better chances when your rival's getting caught in traffic and Negrete slams that door on him coming in towards turn 10.
Let's see, though. I got a feeling
just the right thing to do.
Going to try to under.
Oh,
yeah,
wide.
I knew this was coming. Yep. This is going to be a good run down now, side by side, all the way down this long straight here. I wouldn't want to be where Negrete is, though. That's a rough angle to come into turn 1 at. He's going to have to squeeze. Oh, no. I tell you what.
He's okay.
He got left a lot of room there. Nicholas left him a lot of room there. That was some very fair racing right there.
Yeah, so gets the position, or rather holds the position, does Negrete. And look at this, once again, traffic for Santa Maria, and Aguilar just closes. Although look at this, as they come into turn 8, tights there for the LMP2s, and on that occasion it's Santa Maria who gets the rub of the green and gets about a half second away, but then coming into the next section of corners it takes away from him again.
Jordan Cox is having it rough, man. He's in the pits now.
He was doing well a minute ago.
Yeah, he's not doing well now, though. He had no, he looks like he's had 2 incidents in a row here. He had this. That's not good.
Oh.
Yeah, make sure he doesn't get tagged.
Just got to wait forever to get turned back around again.
Worst. That's a huge problem. You can't see around these walls. You know, I mean, you really got to rely on your relative. Oh no. Oh man,
dear.
We've all done that at least once. And the thing is,
the
thing is, he probably didn't even know he lost his wing. And then I think he's fixing to find out he lost his wing. Oh no, he might just go super slow through here.
Well, yeah, maybe. I can imagine that corner's causing havoc with the incidents.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's wreaking havoc. I'm going to try to fix it here in a second, actually. Yeah, it's this is the worst racetrack in the world to broadcast from that aspect, because it literally tells you every car crashes every lap at the hairpin.
Yeah, I don't know why it says stopped at such a high speed.
Well, it's set at I think 20 kilometers, which is not not horribly.
But, it's still quite fast. When you're looking for incidents, really. By the way, Mauri's just had an incident in the last couple of moments because Sheridan's a lot closer, and Mauri's now back behind Negrete and Sickrest, who he was both ahead of at the and he's got a bit of damage there. I think maybe that was existing before, but certainly has some damage now on that LMP2.
Let's see what happened to him. Oh, turn 1.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's not turn 1. That's
no. Oh dear, and he was clipped. He was clipped by Nicholas Sickrest there as he was trying to get back going again there, and the two were just trying to avoid. But yeah, Mauri, I think
Did Sickrest
wasn't
clip
caused
him?
by the lap car, but he was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Definitely.
Let's see. Here, I'll tell you what. In fact, let's do this if we can get there in time. Oh yeah, he hit him.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see the damage on the front of Mauri's car. I think it's affecting Sickrest actually worse from what you can see at the moment. That not only does the damage look worse, he also looks like he's going slower. I think he's having real trouble turning that car now ever since that contact.
Yeah, again, that's what I talked about that before the race. I mean, it is just so tough around here. You just don't see these things coming. You just pop around the wall and there's a car there, This would be a great place to have a real spotter. I mean, if you were going to have a real spotter work, this would be the place to do it. Yeah, I think you might be right here. Let's see. Yeah. Of course, both of them.
Oh, Mauri there. Very nearly hits him in towards turn 1, and I think Sickrest realises what the score is. Although no, he's going to fight it into the fountain section. Round the outside for Negrete, and he does get, for Mauri rather, and he does get through. But that was harder fought than I thought it would be.
Well, and Sickrest, I mean, I'll tell you what, it's not very often you're going to see two prototypes go through the fountain side by side like that. That's Justin Bach get by Harrison Holiday. So Bach has moved up one position in class. Let's see, we're almost halfway through here. We're probably going to see some of these guys start pitting. Oh no, our leader in the GT3 category just had a wreck. Oh, he got
it's with the LMP2.
Oh man.
Oh, now he's got to do a 3-point turn when there's traffic oncoming. Look at this. Very, very frustrating to have to get back going again. Oh, look at this.
Oh, it's horrible. Look, he's just dropping down. I tell you, that dude's the calmest guy in the world, man. Look, his expression hadn't changed from when he was driving in first place till sitting there waiting to. Oh man.
So he looks a little bit sadder.
He does look a little sadder, yes. So where did he end up after all of that?
Now in the GT3 Pro field, Anderson's only down to second, but that does put him down below the Pro-Am leader as well.
That just goes to show you how much of a lead he had. He just sat there that whole time and lost one position in class.
I mean, look at the gap from second to third. Tyler Crowe is 30 seconds behind Anderson even now. There has just been a pit stop, I think. No, not really,
Brandon.
actually.
Well, some of the no, maybe not. Well, yeah, Anthony Wells. No, Austin Shin. That's what I'm going to butcher.
Schildhauer.
Yeah, him. He pitted on lap 20, so yeah, he just pitted.
Yeah, I don't think he was in that gap though. He might have been actually. But,
well, he's still in sixth place overall in pro.
Yeah, maybe he was actually, but anyway, there's a big gap now in second and third as Schildhauer makes just a slightly earlier stop than some of the others. I think I mentioned it last week. This is one of my favourite liveries of the of the grid.
You did talk about that.
The sort of mid 2000s Williams look.
Car, yeah. Speaking
Very
of
nice.
looks, have you seen the new all the new liveries for Formula One that they've been showing here in the past few days?
Can't say I have been paying particular attention.
Well, it's good to know you're out there.
But, I'm not really. I used to pick these things up from social media, but since I've stopped looking at it so much, I do miss these things nowadays. I should probably.
The new Ferrari. The reason it made me remind me that is the new Ferrari has HP right on the air intake behind the driver's head, and it just made me think of it.
It's a bit retro.
Oh, that thing is twitching all over the place, man. That's Puebla. Of course, we know he had incidents. I wonder if his wheel's jacked because we know he took a shot on the front end. Look at that thing. He is battling that car. Oh, my gosh.
Let's see as it straightens out here.
No, it's straight, but he sure is battling it, though.
Yeah.
Did
you see the
Justin Bach
bodywork
really crash just now? No, I don't think so.
No. Well, he's still. You say that. I think he has actually. Losing time now to Harrison Holiday. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, this is not just a hairpin thing. Oh, somebody spun in front of him, and he spun in sympathy there.
He did spin in sympathy.
Somebody found the wall there quite hard, though.
Hey, look at him. Look at this.
That? Oh!
Don't back it into the wall. Oh, no.
No,
you were doing great. He was going to the spot where he could turn around, and then he hits the wall.
Yeah, it was quite smart until he hit the wall.
Right up until he hit the wall. It was quite smart until it went dumb.
Yeah. And I think he came in pit lane straight away. He might as well.
Well, I mean, it was time anyway, so that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
I didn't do that one. Just for everybody's knowledge, I was not on him when that happened, so it's not my fault this time.
No. Just for reference, by the way, Alan Aguilar has come into pit lane from second, so it's a key moment in the race coming up now. And some of the top contenders in LMP2 are coming in as well, like Edwin Hendricks, Justin Legret as well. But still got Santa Maria and Turnbull and Maori, two of the three of those finishing in on the podium places in last 2 weeks ago's opener. Santa Maria carries on for another lap, though. He believes that extending this stint a little bit longer is the key, but he's got 4 GT3s just in front of him. Surely he's got to come in this time round.
So this here will show us the amount of time that they're spending on pit road here, so we can kind of get an idea of how long these stops are taking. This is total time, including the stop itself, and down the pit road, which you can see it's in excess of a minute for these guys to get off of pit road. That's how long of a pit road this is. It's so slow. Yeah,
it is very slow and very long down here. It's actually on the other, as I mentioned, this is really a highway. It's on the other side. So in pit lane, you're driving down the right-hand side, which is obviously the correct side of the road for this part of the world. But you're technically going the wrong way into oncoming traffic when you're on the racetrack itself, down in towards turn number 1. The 90-degree left-hander. David Turnbull carries on, and I think will be the only one to carry on, unless Harrison Holliday decides to as well. But Santa Maria versus Aguilar is going to be a very interesting fight coming out of the pit lane in just a few moments' time here. Santa Maria is still stopped at the moment. Aguilar is 26.7 seconds in the box. That's not the shortest by any means that we see. And 24.8 for Santa Maria. Even if he lost a lot of time on the racetrack, he should win it back in as far as the pit stop is concerned. Let's see where he's going to come out here as he trundles towards the end of pit lane, waiting for the point at which he can take the pit limiter off and go. There'll be some GT3 traffic for him, but there in the background is Aguilar, and he's not really being challenged. So Santa Maria has traffic, but at least he still has the net race lead.
Yeah, you can see Aguilar here just going through the fountain section now. So he's actually, I would argue that he definitely lost time on that exchange.
Yeah, I guess Santa Maria has to warm up the tyres though here. So
well, that's
and indeed
true.
Has the traffic. So
that's true.
It's going to get close together, but yeah, I think overall Santa Maria has gained.
Yeah, but assuming I don't think he changed tires more than likely, but I haven't seen anybody really changing tires this week in the other GT3 race that I did this week. So I wouldn't imagine they're changing tires here, not for an hour race typically.
I mean, there is time to if you want to.
Well, that's true, but then you got to fight. Then you got to fight 3 laps worth of cold tires. You know.
Yeah, you do have to you have to get used to the cold tyres again, I suppose.
Actually, Aguilar's
on his way out as well, and he's coming. He's going to be quite close here. Aguilar should get through though on the inside. The pit exit's quite a long route round, and so Aguilar gets into. That was close. So McLaren rejoining there out of the pit lane, and Aguilar only just gets away with that. Turnbull with a rope.
That was a Corvette, wasn't it?
His second stint as well.
I think that was a Corvette. Is it? No, that right there. That's a Corvette.
He was already on the racetrack.
Oh. See, I told you it was a Corvette. What do I know? I'm over here looking at buttons.
It would have been Jeremiah Cohn there.
Yes,
that was Cohn. 7th place coming out the pit lane.
I'm actually surprised there's not more Corvettes out here. The Corvette has gotten fast since the recent update. They're starting to get really quick. They're still not popular yet because people were so scared of them from before, but they are definitely getting fast.
Here's a bit of a conspiracy theory for you, by the way. If it had the old engine, more people would drive it.
You think so?
Yeah, that's my conspiracy theory for the day. No evidence for that at all, but that's my that's my thought.
No evidence whatsoever, but I like it.
I don't know, maybe. But of course, we never had the old car. We've only had the C8, as it's called these days. So, I think the C7 engine,
You do have to give Corvette the props, though, the Chevrolet. They took a car that was never a supercar. You know what I mean? It was a good American sports car, whatever. And when they moved it to a mid-engine car and now the current version of it, I mean, it's a low-cost car that is relatively competitive in the supercar world now, They've really elevated that car. They've done a good job with that.
don't forget the initial, in terms of in racing terms as well, the initial GTD effort was actually born out of a modified GTLM or GTE car back in the day as well. So the when it initially started to race in GTD, actually was never even built for the category in the first place.
Right.
Which has got to be an unusual thing to work on there, but such as the way that GTLM and GTE was ended, maybe more abruptly than they were hoping or thinking it would. Had to modify a car to make it fit.
I wish we had
GTD
GTE
category
to this day. That's still one of my favorite cars to drive. It really is.
Yeah, I understand why IMSA would have got rid of it, because there was really not very many cars in the category. But for the World Endurance Championship, I think there was enough amateur support for it. I mean, even in the last season, there were well over 10 entries in the GTE AM, as it was called at the time. And get rid of the Pro class, fine, but because there was about 4 cars in it. But the GTE AM class was pretty numerous towards the end. Yeah, I think it should have lasted as well.
I mean, it's still one of my favorite sim racing cars to drive, mainly because of the fact that it doesn't have ABS. Which makes I'm actually a decent braker, so it makes me more competitive, than the guys that can just hammer those brakes in the GT3 cars,
It's also becoming more rare these days, Oh dear, who's that going straight on there? As we have a look at
right as I switched.
Oh, well, no,
oh, that was him.
It's a good point though, because he does exactly the same thing. Now, I'm pretty sure that's Bitepoint on a separate run down the escape road. Was it Negrete maybe?
Yeah, it was Negrete.
Who went straight on.
It was right here, look.
So 2 guys doing exactly
the
same thing.
So we were literally riding on board with him as it happened.
Oh! And does a good job of turning out of that as well, because if he continues to try and make the turn, he's going to go straight on head
that was
into
smart.
The wall.
I mean, so, you see a lot of Formula One guys, they know when they're, they know their limits on their car, and they take those runoff areas a lot of times, And I think as sim racers, sometimes we don't necessarily know our limits, and we end up trying to make that turn, and the results go really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've actually got us.
By the way, it's got to slow down. Impressive.
Who does? Oh. So we've still got a battle up here for the overall GT3, even though they're in different classes. Within a half second of each other or so here. You got John Voight still, of course, in the Pro-Am category. But right behind him there's Paul Basson in the Porsche.
And interestingly, Basson now the leader of the GT3 Pro class instead of Michael Anderson. The stops were exactly the same between the two of them, so something on circuit has happened there to Anderson to help him lose the race lead.
Well, we saw that, remember? We watched it.
No, to be honest.
Come on. You're the one that's supposed to have the memory, not me. You're supposed to be reminding me. Yeah, we watched it. We watched his incident earlier. All right, now I'm going to have to go find it just so I can refresh my own memory.
Jog my memory as well. But yeah, that. Boy! Oh, so he's made it. So it's all right. Thought he was braking a bit too late.
It was on lap 21.
So with it.
Right here. Remember the LMP car spun him, and then he had to wait.
Really poor memory from me.
That's pretty bad. Yeah, I have to say. I mean, I'm old,
me,
but and I lived through the '80s, so.
I feel old. Yeah,
you're not even 30.
I feel like I lived through the '80s. Yeah. Goodness me.
Oh, well, that's because you've been traveling the world lately.
I know, yeah, but I think I should spend a bit of time at home. in a dark room on my own. Anyway, is that Maori maybe signed? I don't think it was actually. One of the LMP2s are letting some GT3s past, which is it wasn't Maori. He's at the other side of the racetrack, but unusual and a sign that maybe not everything well there with that LMP2, and indeed it's an LMP2 in the pit lane. That's Jacob Sheridan, who comes in from 9th place.
Oh. let's see if that's who was letting people by. Was it?
It must have been.
I'm just going back here and looking on my timing and scoring to see. Was it is there a Jason? What does Jason Howard drive? No, he's a GT driver. Never mind. Don't mind me talking to myself. I like the answers I give. But this is turning into a good battle now, because now we've got Zach Shepard coming up on the back of these guys. We've got a three-way GT 3 battle here. First and third are Pro-Ams, and the Porsche in the middle is a Pro. But this is heating up to be pretty nice. And we've also got Mendoza, who's right here. Oh, never mind. He's in an LMP.
Well, he's overall behind them. That's unusual.
Well, there's probably a reason for that, but I would imagine he's going to come around them pretty soon here.
Basson getting a bit rested, and there he goes, Basson. He makes contact.
He hit him, yep.
He makes contact, and he spins
spun
the
him.
Pro-Am leader. We've got big contact here at the hairpin. Oh, we've got a track blockage down at the hairpin. The Acura gets going again. There's a race and a scramble to get back going as quickly as possible. Anderson's right back in the GT3 Pro fight. Shepard gets the Pro-Am lead as a result of Voigt going, but sent into a spin. Here comes Anderson on the run in towards turn 1. Can he maybe take advantage and strike early? Well, Basson's in front. Basson's broken very late there, though, and he's in the wall. Michael Anderson leads in GT3 Pro. He retakes that first position in the chaos of the final corner here at Long Beach.
Oh, my gosh. That was crazy. That whole incident, I mean, that was wild.
Yeah, and we got away without a safety car as well. I thought there were enough guys hitting each other there to warrant a safety car, but
I agree.
We got away with that one just about. I bet we were close.
Yeah. I have to say, if it's not going to come out for that, then it's probably set pretty accurate then, because, if that didn't bring one out, then it's going to take a real incident to bring one out, because that was a pretty real incident.
Yeah, that probably would have caused one in real life. Remember all those years ago in IMSA when 3 GTDs went into the wall through there and completely caused a blockage?
Oh, well, that was
on the racetrack.
I mean, I have to say that was pretty close right there.
Yeah. Lucky that we got away. And Shepard's in pit lane now. So Pro-Am leader, so briefly for Shepard, who now has to come into the pit lane.
I wonder if he had damage, because he's already pitted, right? Yeah, he already pitted. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, he had already pitted. This is stop number 2 now.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
A bit weird, but Voigt gets a lifeline effectively.
He does.
I know it wasn't his fault.
No,
and
Michael Anderson got a really nice lifeline.
Spinning around, but either way.
Considering that incident he had earlier, and to recover back to the lead because of that incident there, that was. I really do want to kind of go take a look at that again, because that was pretty crazy, man.
And I'm afraid completely of Basson's making as well, but from how I saw it live, I mean, he didn't need to pass the Pro-Ams. I know it's nice to win in GT3 overall and whatever, but he didn't need to pass those Pro-Ams at all. And diving down the inside the final corner just very, very rarely works. And unfortunately, it's cost him a class lead here. To be fair, it wasn't actually that incident that cost him the class lead. It was going wide at turn 1. On just seconds later, but either way, the whole reason Anderson was so close was because of that incident at the final corner. And now look at Basson with lots of traffic in front. He's 2.5 seconds behind. Even now, with Anderson just a few more cars in front, they're all absolutely nose to tail, but they're still 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, you got Voigt here. They're kind of getting split by some of these by these LMP2 cars, the prototypes. That's Justin Bach right there behind Voigt right now. So he's going to be making his way around soon, and then that's, of course, Basson is behind him. Oh, no! Oh my gosh!
Wow,
what a
bit
move!
of avoidance that was. John Voigt there would have seen his life flash before his eyes.
God.
He only just survived that.
Oh, man, I wish on the replay we could see his. I wasn't looking at him. I would have loved to have seen his reaction to that, because we were on camera with him when it happened. Oh, man. I mean, I hate this expression when commentators use it, but if there was ever a Code Brown moment, that was it. I do hate that expression, too, by the way. Absolutely hate it. But that was, oh, my God. I mean, I do. I can't stand it, but it was very appropriate there. So let's go see that again.
It's Adrian Puebla who gets over the curbs and spins, and how is there even a gap there?
How did he realize there was enough of a gap there? But the thing is, I don't think he would have made it if he'd have tried to go around the front of the car. I think he'd have hit him.
Yeah, probably not, although the actor in front of him made it round.
I tell you what, yeah, but he was also a little not as wide there. Here, watch, let's do this. All right, so who do I want here? I want, who was that? That was Voigt, okay. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to go to Voigt, and then we're going to go on board. He was kind of rolling.
Made it, but
he was kind of rolling forward too. I think is which made him choose to go behind him. But that was insane. We don't have a category for that or whatever. But man, that was absolutely the save of the day. By the way, let's jump back up here real quick. This is getting hot and heavy again.
10 minutes to go.
You got three of them nose to tail.
Top three all together here at the front of the field here. And Santa Maria is leading the way by about half a second in front of Aguilar, and then Turnbull, who has joined them earlier on. He was a long way behind, but or at least a few seconds behind, but now he's absolutely in this group. And only 10 minutes remaining. Sort it out on the racetrack here, these guys. And Aguilar is going to try, as he has been all race, to find a way past Santa Maria, which just has been impossible so far.
What's funny is if you look at the stats of this race when it's all said and done, it would not seem like there was much of a battle in LMP2 at all. You know what I mean? Because Santa Maria's been up front the entire race. But the reality is these two have battled most of the race. And like you said, now we've got Turnbull in here who's been close as well. Oh, this LMP2 car is holding up Aguilar and Turnbull, though. I mean, the GT3. I think that's Basson.
I don't know at the moment, but
yeah, it's Basson right there.
Yeah, it is. And there is an LMP2 as well.
Yes.
As Turnbull looks to the inside, but can't do it. He actually hits Basson there, and that's cost him quite a lot of time. Traffic can have such an effect in these
Puebla.
races,
that was the LMP2 that was in there.
The LMP2 Puebla. But that's the thing that Aguilar's got to remember here, is that there's going to be one moment in these next 10 minutes where the traffic really is a disadvantage to Santa Maria, and he's got to get really close to him in that moment, and he's got to try and get past him in that moment as well.
He's almost 2 seconds behind just from that little incident there with the Porsche, holding him up just that little bit. And then Turnbull is even another second behind that now. Well, it looked like an aggressive bump there on the road I hadn't seen before. That car reacted bad to that.
Now, where is that traffic going to come from for Santa Maria? He's going to get away with it through here, through turn 8. He's got a nice run, and then on the straight he can pass easily towards turn 9. So Santa Maria gets himself through, and then there's a little bit of space there. You can see on the track map, just a little bit of space. And will that space be enough to carry him to the race end here, or is there one more chance here for Aguilar, who gets again slowed through the hairpin? The gap grows more than a second and a half.
Well, if you see him on the track map there, we've got him highlighted. He is the white car there going down the main straightaway now. There's actually a pretty decent gap there. Well, he's going to catch him pretty quick. Actually, they're just going through the fountain section, so he's going to run him down pretty quick. He definitely won't get to the finish without passing some more traffic. But it is LMP2 cars that are right in front of him, so.
Yeah, but they can sometimes be even worse.
Yeah, that's true.
A circuit like this. we'll just have to see how they sort of interact. They might just jump completely out of his way, but if they don't, and there's no obligation for them to, then it will be difficult for Santa Maria to maintain the sort of advantage that he has at the moment. 7 minutes to go, just over, and there's surely one more chance. I personally think, anyway, there's one more chance left in this race for Aguilar, but it will be very late on.
Well, he's got to close the gap up between now and when that traffic comes, which he is doing, a little. Oh, no, there's a car around right there in turn one, or in the last turn, I mean. Who was that?
It wasn't any of the leading three.
No.
Yeah.
He's still sitting there.
Turn 9.
That's not Justin Bach, no.
It's Roderick Mendoza, it is. Who's down to 12th now. He's over 2 laps down now as a result of that spin.
Well, that didn't help. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Let's see what happened to him. See if he got help or if he did it on his own. He got help, but it's because it was one of those Constantina things. He checked up for the GT car, and then he's just stuck, man. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, even if the track was clear, I mean, how can you get yourself turned around from there?
Honestly,
and Bassen's coming, and
honestly, the best thing he could have done was to run down here to the runoff area and turn it around, because put it in reverse. That's horrible there, man. That is a tough spot. You know, something that drivers forget, and the only reason I say that is not a criticism in any way, shape, or form, because I am absolutely guilty of panicking in those situations, is you need to map a button to your wheel to turn your traction control off to where you can gas the car up and spin it, because as long as the traction control's on, you can't really spin it around like you need to.
Oh, and now he understeers into the wall, so that's going to be more damage as well.
Well, it's not his day.
He carries on. Meantime, this is the traffic we were expecting to arrive before the end, and it has now arrived for Santa Maria. The gap is 1 second, but look at the way he's just not able to get past the Mustang, even on the straights now, in towards this left-hander. He's going to have to dive down the inside at turn 8 instead. All the meantime, Alan Aguilar is going to close in. There they go, side by side. The Mustang will let him have that, and will just halt Aguilar slightly. And Turnbull actually the one who really benefits from this, but the Mustang's so strong in a straight line, it's actually quite hard for these LMP2s to get alongside. Turnbull's going to have to be coming from a long way back, but he will get through. Now look at the traffic jam. They're going to have to follow each other single file, and it's going to allow them all to close up in the overall lead.
Oh my gosh, you got a big little, they're all right there now. I have to say, the way Aguilar handled that Mustang after Santa Maria got by him, he was not as aggressive as he needs to be right there. This is we're in the last 5 minutes of this race, and you got possibly your last shot to get to this leader. You got to be more aggressive going around that traffic, unless he's happy finishing second, which he may be. But he was not aggressive getting around that Mustang like he needed to be. I'll tell you what, if he's not careful.
Contact between second and third in towards turn 1 there. It seems that Turnbull maybe hit Aguilar, but the difference on the straights here just not big enough at the moment. Aguilar having to dive down the inside of the Ferrari there, but a little bit tentative. Santa Maria, meantime, gets through, and he's properly clear now, and it is Turnbull who's really applying the pressure through turn 8. It's a good run though from Aguilar onto this back straight, and he'll get a slipstream from the Corvette. He might be able to time a pass as well, and there you go. So Turnbull follows through though, using that leading car there to cut through the leading traffic there a lot better, and so he's just able to follow through and continue to apply the pressure.
Yeah, I think Turnbull does seem to be a little more aggressive in these final stages of the race than Aguilar is right now. But again, he may be happy to finish second. This is only the second race of the season. This is a long points battle, and this is a big LMP field. I mean, we've got a lot of LMP2 cars in this field this season, so which is quite impressive because to me, a very underrated car. One of the best driving cars on iRacing. It is so much fun to drive. And I think it's greatly underappreciated, and I love to see this size turnout.
Yeah, it is good to see. Just over 2 minutes remaining in this race, and that probably means 2 laps to go here for Santa Maria, who has controlled this race from the front. Aguilar has been following him the whole time, pretty much. Has not been able to get through as of yet, and again into this final sector. Needed to probably dive down the inside of the McLaren there, but wasn't able to. Now where can he go? Inside of 10. Oh, and he's going to open the door if he's not careful to Turnbull. His hesitance has cost him. There goes Turnbull down the inside of the final turn. It's a brilliant pass from David Turnbull to get it in front of Alan Aguilar, who he's been watching for lap after lap. Aguilar didn't make the move on the McLaren when it was required of him, and Turnbull takes advantage and moves into second late on.
Yeah, that's that's what we've been talking about now for 2 laps. The aggression there, and now Aguilar's over driving a little bit. His tail end's kicking out on him because he's probably driving with a bit of frustration. That happened to him there. I mean, he's still got time to recover and get that position back.
He can't win from here, though.
No, he
will
can't.
Be a little bit frustrating to him, because it is the last lap next time round. There will still be traffic, though. It is LMP2 traffic in front of Santa Maria, but that could be just as damaging. And there is a GT3 there. Might be the last one. There might be another one. Langevin is a little bit further away, but this is the Lamborghini just up in front of them at the moment that Santa Maria is not able to get through on. And is Turnbull going to repeat this on the race leader? Santa Maria will have seen that in his mirrors, and so he defends it to the final turn. But Turnbull gets turned underneath him there. And with less than 30 seconds to go, they're going to be forced onto one more lap here in the Roasted Record Sportscar Challenge at Long Beach. Turnbull's got a great run coming towards turn 1. On Amaro Santa Maria, who's led pretty much every lap of this race. A flash of the lights from Turnbull. He can't find his way down the inside, though he follows the race leader through the traffic and is applying the pressure on the last lap of this race.
Wow. Oh, that's the best camera angle, is it? Oh, and they got traffic too.
The LMP2's in front.
That's Harrison Holiday, I believe.
They've got to try and stay out the way here as best as possible. I think it is, as he's just lost a position to Justin Bock just up in front. That's what the battle was all about. I don't think we're going to get GT3 traffic at the end here. Oh, but look at it. He might not need it. He might not need those 2 cars in front here, Turnbull. He's forcing Santa Maria to defend into the final sector of this race. He brakes later. He's on the outside. He's sliding. The car getting away from him there. Santa Maria's going to have to defend into the final turn because David Turnbull might well go for it from here. Oh, he locks up. He nearly gets into the back of him. He can't quite do it. Nope. Amaro Santa Maria survives a late attack in this race to win on the streets of Long Beach. He wins for the 2nd round in a row to start off a perfect season. Just in front of David Turnbull in the end. Santa Maria holds on. He will breathe a big sigh of relief after that.
Look at this right here, though. We got Voigt and Anderson. I mean, coming right down to the line. Look at Anderson, man. That dude doesn't flinch.
Oh, and he wins in GT3 Pro, and Voigt wins in Pro-Am. Very, very close, though, between the 2 class leaders there.
And here's Basson finishing 2nd overall in the pros, and I'll let you say his name.
Austin Schildhauer in the
Schildhauer, yes. And let's see, Zach Shepard is about to come around here and take. That's how far ahead Voigt was. Look, we're still waiting on Zach Shepard just to get on the final straightaway.
Yeah, 3/4 of a minute the gap in the end.
Yeah. And then back to 3rd in that class is here, still just coming down in the plainest of plain cars there.
Yeah, David Volpe, and that'll just about be it as far as the guys coming over the line are concerned. Couple more, and then that is it.
Well, that was a
tight finish there.
That was a hell of a race. I mean, to be honest, there was a lot of carnage, but we never really saw the massive carnage that could have happened. You know, I thought it was. I thought they, to be honest, I thought they were very respectful overall. There was a lot of side by side in places. Like, I've never seen two prototypes go through the fountain section side by side before and get away with it. So there was some impressive stuff there, I have to say. Great drive, great race. All right.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, let's have a look at the results.
Yep. And so you haven't seen these yet. This is also something new you haven't seen.
Okay. I did have this last night with Biggles, actually.
That's right. Yeah, I gave it to Biggles. That's right. I forgot.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
There we go. There's the. I'll read out the results anyway while you have a look at the other stuff.
Do you want to do it by class, or do you want to just do overall?
I was just going to run through the top few overall, to be honest.
Yep.
In classes, but Mauro Santamaria wins in the overall and in the LMP2 class. How did they get no incidents, by the way? That's ridiculous. 0 incidents for Santamaria, Turnbull or Aguilar at the end of that race. 1, 2 and 3. Edwin Hendricks had a pretty anonymous race, really, but finishes in 4th place. 2 top 5s in the season now. Scott Murray finishes in 5th. That's 2 top 5s in the season. In fact, the only one to not finish in the top 5 this time, who did last time, was Adrian Prebler, who in the end finishes all the way down in 15th place in the LMP2s. Nicolas Sigrist was in 6th place in front of Justin Negrete, Dax Brown, Justin Bock and Harrison Holiday, rounding out the top 10 in LMP2. Going down a bit further, Michael Anderson wins in GT3 Pro in the end ahead of Paul Passon by 13 odd seconds. Austin Schildhauer on the podium there with Francis Crosby and Sebastian Trujillo, the last guys on the lead lap. Tyler Crow, Lorenzo Arroyo and Patrick Rich round out the field. And then in GT3 Pro-Am, it's John Voigt who wins by a very long way in the end, ahead of Zach Shepard. David Volpe rounding out the top 3. James Langevin and Jeremiah Cohn round out the top 5 ahead of Anthony Wells. Jason Holland and Blake Pittenpole battled towards the line. 7th and 8th for them, ahead of Brian Larissa and Jordan Cox, who at one stage was the biggest mover forward. Unfortunately, ends up again at the back of the field where he started in that race, which was a shame.
We might have cursed him a little bit too.
Well, yeah, maybe. Let's have a chat to Mauro Santamaria, shall we, at the end of that race, a dramatic race as well, with a dramatic finish. Mauro, congratulations. Welcome in to the booth. Good to have you with us. Congratulations on that. What a fight it was towards the end. Tell us about the last couple of laps there when David Turnbull and Alan Aguilar were both crowding up behind you.
Yeah, first off, thank you for having me again. I'm always happy to be here. I honestly, man, it was a great race the whole time. I was shaking. I think the whole final lap, especially because I started getting packet loss messages as well, which didn't really help. I think David went for new tires at the end, and I really noticed he caught up. Obviously, Alan pressured me the whole race. I was able to park the bus and where it mattered, and we got it through. It was very close, though. So, yeah, props to them.
It was very close, but you get out the other side with the victory, and that's 2 wins in a row now, 2 out of 2 for the start of this season. How pleased are you that you've been able to start the season like this, and how likely it is, do you think, that you can continue on? Maybe not winning every race would be a very high bar to set yourself, but continue on this good form.
Yeah, I have some awesome teammates with me, Edwin, Mateus, Adrian. I'm sure you've seen them, maybe when them in the voice chats. They've always helped and support me, especially with strategy, and I think just the teamwork amongst all 4 of us has always helped us a lot. So yeah, just kind of keep our heads down, work together, and practice together. That's always, practice makes perfect, and we've managed to be able to do that, and always very happy with the result now.
Well, congrats on the win tonight, and thanks for chatting to us at the end as well.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thanks very much. That's Mauro Santamaria wins overall and in LMP2 as well. In GT3 Pro, it is Michael Anderson who joins us, having won here tonight. Michael, welcome in. Good to have you with us. A race of, I would describe it as a roller coaster. I don't know how you would describe it in GT3 today. You were leading at one stage, then spun round, then won the lead back again in a very bizarre final corner tie-up. How would you sort of assess and describe that race after all is said and done?
Yeah, roller coaster definitely describes it pretty well. I had a good qualifying lap, put it on pole, got out to a pretty good lead, and then the traffic started coming through. John, the Pro-Am, was right on my tail the entire time, so he was super quick. But we were kind of pulling away from the field, and when the traffic came through, I was able to open a little bit of a gap, and then one of the LMP2 cars, I don't remember who it was, got into me and spun me around, and that was pretty devastating. But no damage. Luckily, was able to get back in, and then something obviously happened up front in the hairpin because I was gaining on them a little bit, but then something happened, and I was right back on them and was able to get back into the lead, and yeah, it was definitely a roller coaster.
So I got one thing I want to add here. Look, you and I have talked. Obviously, now this has been going on for a couple of months, getting ready for the season or whatever. Man, I tell you what, I've really never watched you race. I mean, I did earlier in the week in the sister league over there, but you are unflappable, man. That guy spun you around, and you just had to sit there and watch half the field pass by before you could get back out on the track, and your expression did not change. You are the most laid-back guy I've ever seen in my life. I'd have been pounded on the steering wheel, and I'm watching you, and you literally, your expression did not change. And then I said that, and Ewan goes, well, maybe he's a little sadder.
Well, believe me, I was not very happy. I came on to the radio and said, I hope it was worth it. I probably shouldn't have done that as one of the league admins. That wasn't very professional of me, but yeah. But I was pretty upset about that. But no, it happens. I'd have to look at the replay and see what happened. I'm sure he thought that, I couldn't see him. He was in my blind spot, and I'm sure it was just a racing incident.
It's Long Beach.
Probably, but we'll take a look at it. But yeah, it was frustrating, but I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. And we're really big on this league. Like, we really come down on people hard about rejoins. And that's one thing that's, we always try to beat into people, is having safe rejoins. And the first week at Laguna Seca, I was really proud of all the guys in the league. We sent them a message about that, because out of the incidents that we had, we didn't have a single really bad rejoin where you ruin somebody else's race. Because as bad as it stinks to get yourself in trouble or get taken out, the only thing worse than that is then ruining somebody else's race.
Yes. I will say
because
this.
You're frustrated. I was trying to keep it together, but yeah,
there were some driving incidents that happened at Laguna Seca that were questionable. And, obviously there were a few more incidents that you wanted, I'm sure. I have to say, for Long Beach, there was plenty of incidents, of course, it's Long Beach, but, like big disastrous stuff, some crazy stuff. You didn't see a lot of that. The guys really did a good job. I mean, this is the two. Well, I even said to Jed on Wednesday night, I said, if you had it to do all over again, would you still put these two races at the first two races of the season? And I propose the same question to you. If you had control of the schedule, yeah, exactly.
No, Jed is no longer in charge of scheduling for these things for Full Throttle Nation. I can tell you that. No, but seriously,
he shouldn't be in charge of scheduling for himself.
No,
either.
I wouldn't. But at the same time, though, it has helped kind of weed people out a little. I mean, you really learn how good of a drivers that you have in your league when you run two tracks like that. And I've been very, very pleasantly surprised with the amount of incidents and the fairly calm tempers. Obviously, people get upset, but it's been a lot cleaner than what I was worried about when we first made the schedule. So,
right.
I do think I would change it, but it hasn't been all bad. But luckily, we're on to an actual racetrack next week with a little more room, so we'll see what happens there.
Let's not. Laguna Seca is definitely a real racetrack. All right, that's one of my favorite tracks growing up.
Okay, a better sized racetrack. Let's put it that way, and not a fishbowl.
Yeah.
I'm tired of these 1 minute lap times. Let's get something with some distance.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, thanks for chatting to us, Michael, and giving us your very honest opinion on the schedule and indeed how that's going to be sorted in the future.
Well, thank you guys. We really appreciate it very much.
Yeah. Thanks very much, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Sounds good. I'll see you then.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, that's Michael Anderson in first place in GT3. I think there's a bit of a delay from me to him there.
Oh, it
Maybe it's on
probably
my
was,
end, but,
yeah.
It feels like I was contacting the moon there, but anyway,
That's close.
That's fine. Yeah, be quicker. Anyway, John Boy is sat there waiting patiently for us to finish our conversations and joins us now. John, welcome in. Good to have you with us. Congratulations on a class win in GT3 Pro-Am here tonight. How does it feel to be a class winner overall and so close to an overall win in GT3, including all of the pros as well? How pleased are you with that performance?
That was definitely a spectacle. I definitely was doing a lot of fuel saving. I've had significant issues with Digital Race Engineer underfueling me a lap, and so getting across the finish line without having a second pit stop was great. I know that the hairpin debacle was a little bit disappointing. I took some damage there, and then there was another wreck. I believe it was turn 5. I took some aero damage, but it must not have been too bad because I was able to keep up with Michael there for a while. But that was an absolute blast race, and it was definitely pleasing to see that it was P2 for the GT3s and P1 for Pro-Am.
Yeah. Absolutely. What did you make of the sort of racing around Long Beach tonight? Because we all know what to expect from a place like this, and there were a couple of types. There was one complete tie-up, in fact, at the hairpin. But other than that, I felt it was pretty clean across the board. What was it like to drive in?
That was definitely a lot better than I was expecting. I think definitely being at the front of the pack, it's a different experience trying to traverse the traffic that goes around Long Beach. Other than, I would say, 2, maybe 3 corners where there was just heavy traffic. I know I got stuck behind one of the GT3s, losing some time to Michael there midway through the race, but overall there wasn't too much of an impact, and I heard there was some other wrecks happening around the track, so it was a lot better than I had anticipated, and it was a lot cleaner than I thought, so it was pretty good.
Well, congratulations to yourself for getting the win in GT3 Pro-Am, and thanks for chatting to us at the end as well.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks very much. That's John Voigt, who wins in the GT3 Prime class indeed there as well by a big margin, as you can see, over Zach Shepard by nearly 3/4 of a minute there. But Jim, I thought that wasn't too bad at all for Long Beach. As Michael was saying a couple of moments ago, it's been a brutal start to the season at Laguna Seca and Long Beach.
Indeed.
We don't really have circuits like this coming up ever again, really, in this calendar. I guess Indianapolis can be a bit tight in places. The circuit Gilles Villeneuve can be as well, and some other places where there'll be tight corners and so on. But it's never going to be as bad, I don't think, as a back-to-back to start the season as Laguna Seca and Long Beach, which is now in the rearview mirror for everybody.
Yeah, I think again tonight was, I would say Laguna Seca surprised me a little bit, maybe in the opposite way. Like there was more incidents there than I thought that there were going to be. But again, that's also first race of the season. You know, a lot of these guys racing around each other for the first time, and the first time this league has mixed LMP2 and GT3s together. So, you know, getting used to that multi-class together like that. But this one surprised me the other way, I have to say. Relatively speaking, you know, we got some racing incidents, but anytime you put practically 50 cars on the grid, you're going to have plenty of incidents anyway. So I think they did a fantastic job racing around here. We saw great racing in both classes, you know. GT3, we had 3 cars there right there at the end battling for the overall win in GT3, and same in LMP2 and the prototypes. So yeah, great. You know, I'm looking forward to some of the stuff we've got coming up in the future. I know next week we're going to go to, I believe we're going to Mexico City. So that's going to be a good one.
Yep. We are indeed, much in the same way that this circuit is easy to forget that it's actually in LA. It's easy to forget that next week's venue is actually in Mexico City. It really, even less so, it seems like it actually, but it's properly in the city, and it is our venue for round number 3. Lots of altitude, of course, up there as well, so
yes,
less of a slipstream than normal. All those kind of things to talk about, indeed, when we get there next week. So I hope you'll join us for that coming up in 1 week's time. We'll be live on the Motormouth Broadcasting Network, same time same place for that. But for now, this is us signing off from Long Beach, California tonight. I've been Ian Leary alongside Jim Cunningham of this Motormouth Broadcasting broadcast. We will be back in 1 week's time from Mexico. Until we see you then, it's goodbye for now.